That's running. You guys all good? Do you need to go to the bathroom or anything before we start?
Like on camera?
Well, I mean, I unfortunately I'll have to censor it, but or not. I don't care. All right, gotta find my center. All right, guys, another exciting episode of Coffee Time Quarantine Edition. And today's guests, I have the two Johns from Beyond Deth. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man?
How the hell are you? How have you been?
Been good.
Yeah? What you guys been up to?
I mean, for the most part, just trying to stay tight and rehearsing every chance we get. Other than that, enjoying the quarantine and not doing much else of anything.
Yeah, not doing jack shit, pretty much. Well, you guys have been doing jack shit, actually. But have you guys been still practicing and all that?
Oh yeah, we try to get in there together at least once a week, just to keep things together.
Oh, that's good. We just started practicing again in Vicious Attack because Fabian just got back from the hospital and all that, so he's all clear and good to go. Yeah.
Right.
We posted on the Facebook page a while back that he actually had it. You know, he'll be the first person I know that actually came down with it. But he was in the hospital for like 5 weeks, so he's back and he's all ready to go. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we were kind of in the same situation a little bit.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh yeah. He's he had his first practice with us yesterday since being in the hospital, having his physical therapy and all that. He said like the best thing about it, the only good thing about it actually, is that he lost like 35 pounds from being in the hospital. So he's like, I gotta keep it off now.
Great
So.
diet, man. I should get on that diet.
Yeah, the COVID diet.
Hospital diet.
Hospital diet. Eating that shitty applesauce and whatever they give you.
Soil and green.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's doing good. He, he drummed and all that for us yesterday, and he didn't pass out and die. So, but yeah. So, you guys have been practicing. Clearly, you've been busy. If you guys don't know, the reason, not the only reason, I've been trying to get you guys on for a little while now, but the biggest reason is Beyond Deth has just released a brand new album. So, you want to tell us a little bit about that? Either of the Johns?
I've been talking too much. I guess John can handle this one.
You want to handle it, John? John with an H?
Sure. What would you like to know, man?
All right, well, let's talk about where you guys recorded it first.
Well, this one was kind of interesting because each one of us tracked our parts separately without any of the other members there.
Really?
That's the first time we've ever done that.
So you guys just went to the studio on your own time, or did you guys record at home and then send your tracks? Or
We went to the studio on our own time.
Okay.
We recorded this with Spencer Morris.
Spencer Morris?
We recorded at Bricktop.
Okay. I mean, obviously, you guys definitely have like a signature sound, and it really comes through on this new album. What would you say your style is exactly? Just death metal with, I've heard some black metal elements in there too, to be honest.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
We try to make everything work.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No.
And sometimes that can be hard because there might be some ideas that might be really good, and you try to mix in the other ideas, and it's like, you know what? No, this isn't good. You gotta scrap it.
Okay.
That happens, at least especially when I'm working on songs. That happens very often, where it's just, yeah, these genres, this ain't gonna work. This song is just whatever. Scrap it. Maybe take a riff later for it.
Mm-hmm.
Something new.
Well, you definitely keep it interesting. There's a couple little clean parts here and there in a lot of your songs that I noticed, and to be honest, I'm a big fan of yours, man. When I first came into Vicious Attack, at the time, yeah, I know you've gone through a couple lineup changes, correct?
Right. Oh yeah, a lot.
Okay. I didn't want to speculate or anything, but when I first saw you, I had just joined Vicious Attack, and Fabian needed somebody else to take pictures at I believe it was an underground lounge show. So at the time, it was I don't remember who you had on drums, but I remember it was you, John, and Aletta on bass. And I saw you guys for the first time, and I was like blown away because I love death metal. You know, that's obvious. But you guys really, your sound was very honed in, if that makes sense. You know. But now with this album, it just the quality. I loved Age of Darkness. That sounded awesome. But with this new album, I can't explain it. It's the exact same like feel, but the quality is pretty good. Did you guys record it with the same studio?
Age of Darkness was done at Decade Music Studios
Okay.
in Chicago, whereas this one was done at Bricktop. And actually, we did make a conscious effort to use a different variety of amps than I've used in the past. A lot of the early demos in the first album, I stuck to like the same amps, same kind of sound.
Okay.
And this time, I took the chance to mix up and try different things and go a different direction for the overall tone, at least on the guitar end of things.
Okay, let's talk about that. What amps did you use on it? Like, I know when we were talking about doing the Rift City, you were talking about using a combination of different amps for that. What'd you do for this album then?
On my end, it was a Mesa Boogie Mark IV and a dual rectifier.
Nice. How about you?
I used my Frankenstein,
Nice.
and the other one I forget if I was using. It was a Marshall. I don't know if it was a dual super lead or. Do you remember, John?
It was the dual.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dual. Yeah.
We used just that crunch mode on channel 1.
Very
the
nice.
That was it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it sounds awesome. The album sounds awesome, and like
all that mixed together.
yeah,
You know.
it works. It sounds really good. And like I said, I don't know what it is, but that quality bump. I'm a stickler for production, so when I hear like I don't know bands kind of intentionally sound. I don't want to say bad because that's my opinion. You know, I just love a way more finished, you know, more definitely more production in music.
You know, and I'm always trying to find the middle ground with that. I still want it to be raw and real, but still be somewhat produced, you know.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you've got like synth going on in the background and it's a whole production, you know, but it definitely does sound extremely tight. So we got the two Johns. Who's drumming for you currently?
We got Rob Halloran on
Halloran?
drums.
Okay, very nice. And bass?
No bass player currently.
Okay, no bass per. All
I
right.
ended up doing bass for the album, but we got one guy we're going to be working with that we actually had our first jam with yesterday. We're going to see how things work out with him. You know, once live shows kick in again, we should be more prepared. Because right now during this quarantine, I mean, us three, you can just stay tight, and then whenever someone else can come in on a bass, they'll be ready to go once live shows happen. So we got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, I mean, nobody truly knows the landscape. I see a lot of bands they're starting to book shows and all that, and it's weird. You know, it's a weird kind of territory, but you know, who knows? I mean, this can work. This could, you know, or this could be infinitely worse in a couple months. You know, we'll see. But so that's good. All right, now the album, like you guys just released it. So how long has it been like that you guys have been recording this? I guess obviously since before the pandemic. So
we were done tracking by what was it, October?
Really?
Last year.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time. It didn't take a lot of time for us to track anything.
Okay.
At least for me too. I think Rob did all his drums in a day. Like I said, we all recorded separately. John's pretty quick. You know, we had like no time to do anything anyway, even if we wanted it. But you know, it worked out well in the end. At least when you hear the finished product, you know.
That's odd too. I mean, we didn't practice these songs as a band.
Really?
We just went in this too. So now, like during the last couple months, we've been just rehearsing our own songs and learning our own songs how to play them.
Yeah, so pretty much John sent me you know, some demos on click tracks of what he had, and I had like 2 days to come up with something before I was scheduled to go track. So I,
Jesus.
wrote my stuff and I went and tracked it, and that's what you hear.
Wow, dude, that's
Yeah, with the
amazing.
composition, I spent only about 2-3 months on composing the album, other than a few riffs that I had laying around that I knew I was going to use.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really fast. Like, it was written fast. Everyone did their parts fast. We recorded fast, and then we just kind of took our time with mixing and mastering. And then with the pandemic thing happening, everything got pushed back with the release. So that's kind of why it took so long.
Well, I mean, obviously that as well, but you guys have a label that you're working with currently, right?
Yep. Vargheist Records, South Carolina.
Very nice. Now, obviously, I saw when that was when you guys posted about that. But how did that get started? You guys reached out to them, and they reached out to you.
Oh, I randomly just reached out
Mm-hmm.
to the owner of the label and just started a chat with him, and he's just like, yeah, like I want you guys, like, let's do this. And things have been good ever since. They did the reissue of the first album, which was really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're helping us push this second one. Like, I have no complaints whatsoever.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it looks like they're very active. I mean, when you guys did the pre-order link and all that, I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. That's the how I mean, it looked like you guys sent out a lot of CDs through pre-order.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the exact number, but yeah, the label sent out quite a number of pre-orders. I was even surprised at how many pre-orders came through.
Well, I mean, that's amazing because I felt like you guys were around and then you disappeared for a little while, and I figured that's when you were writing all of this music. Eventually you guys would come back, and I've said this a couple times in previous episodes of Coffee Time, but I feel like when I first came onto the scene, there was certain bands that were just very, very prevalent and around, and you guys and Beyond Deth were one of them. And then I felt like there was a small period where those bands kind of stepped back and regrouped a little bit. Armored Assault is another one of those bands that they are going to be, I don't know if they just finished recording or they are, because I saw a post that they were currently in the studio, but they were another band that was just around all of the time. And then I felt like those bands kind of just took a step back just to regroup or record new stuff, and now all you guys are coming back, and that's amazing.
Yeah, that was actually a discussion I had with a few people about during this quarantine situation, how many bands would still be around afterwards. Like, just the stress of not practicing and not playing shows, not doing anything, how many of them are going to break up or just decide like it ain't worth it no more.
Oh yeah,
That's a discussion I have had with people.
It definitely is. It definitely is an interesting time. Like I said before, with Vicious Attack, we've been recording this album during the pandemic, and I mean, for a while we were just like, whatever, we got to do this, and we had just finished tracking, and we were getting a bunch of mixes and all that, and then Fabian got sick, so it kind of like put everything into perspective a little bit for us. But
Yeah.
now we're wrapping it up, and hopefully we're still a little interested to see how the landscape changes, to see if we can even do a CD release show, or it's interesting because
We had to scrap ours. We had ideas and dates set. It was just like, yeah, that ain't happening.
yeah, it's weird. It definitely is weird because another thing we were talking about is merch, but what's the point of getting a new line of merch right now if we might not even be able to play shows? So
Yeah, we've even ourselves, we've discussed that too. Like, we're not playing shows. Should we expand our merch and keep pushing out stuff or not? I think we might still, just because I think there might be a little bit of demand there. But it'll be just simple stuff like basic T-shirts and maybe new stickers and little things like that.
oh yeah, definitely. Just the the stuff that people want. You don't have to get too fancy. You don't need to do shot glasses or anything like that. But
Yeah, let's do a shirt for the album or something.
what's that?
I said at least just do a shirt for the album.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If
Yeah.
anything.
All right, let's talk about the album artwork. You guys are, I don't know if it's the same artist, but it kind of seems very similar in style and theme. Who did the artwork for your new album?
Oh, that was a gentleman named Dave Levy.
Dave Levy. Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
I forget what country he's from, but yeah, he's very cheap. I found his portfolio somewhere and I looked through it and I found that. I'm like, hey man, like, can I get that? And he's like, yeah, here you go. Like, simple as that. Like 20 minutes.
Wow, that's
I
awesome.
would have liked to have had an original piece done, but again, with the timing and how fast we try to get everything accomplished, I didn't have time to like pay an artist to come up with an original idea. I kind of had to find someone that already had a whole pile of art already kind of laid out.
And you know what? That's totally fine because I feel like artwork is definitely one of the most stressful parts of, a new release, and there are tons of artists that are just waiting, for someone to contact them. There's this person that I've been looking into because we still haven't settled on a final design for Vicious Attack. This person is Indonesia. He's from Indonesia, and he just puts out this awesome work. So it's a lot of just stuff that he already did that's just sitting waiting to be sold.
I just saw it one day. The second I saw it portfolio and saw that photo, I'm just like, that. I want that. How much? And it was just done immediately.
Okay. So who?
He was even kind enough to throw our band logo in there too. Like we didn't have to do like, after work with that too much with like Photoshop. He's like, yeah, I'll throw your band logo in there. Like, okay, cool. Like, very nice fellow, very reasonable.
Dude, that's awesome. And who did Age of Darkness then? Because
that was Eric Roth who did the artwork for that, which still love the artwork, and it's chilling right behind John back there.
Yeah.
It's amazing artwork. Currently, we're working with Eric on some T-shirt ideas for our album, and when it comes to Chicago artists, he's just incredible.
He's a fantastic creature designer. He loves creatures, like his horror movies, weird imagery stuff. Like he loves creatures, and that's what he's best at. If that's what you're going for.
Definitely, yeah. Well, that's very cool, and I mean, I thought you were going to tell me Eric did both because that other one looks very similar to what Eric would do, but that's awesome.
Maybe that's why it resonated with me when I saw it. I'm like, all right, that.
Yeah.
It's familiar, I suppose.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you don't have to do this obviously, but you just keep the style somewhat similar, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just like a saga.
But, I don't know. We might change it up though in the future. You never know. It might be cool to have color, maybe an album cover.
Yeah.
Instead of black and white everything.
I mean, for me, it's always just like, at least if it makes sense with what you're hearing, then then it works.
And that's a hard thing too, is finding art or having art done that fits what the music is. You don't want to misrepresent it with some just random artwork that you bought somewhere. It has to make sense.
Yeah, awesome artwork. The album is amazing. I'm trying to think. How many tracks was it? Was it 10?
It was 9, I believe.
9? Okay. Do you guys have any plans to promote it, or are you just going to keep reaching out to different media outlets and all that?
I mean, in terms of any live shows, like we're being extremely cautious and kind of picky at the moment, just because we don't know what's going on or how things can change. It seems like every day things change.
Definitely.
We don't want to commit to something where it's just going to fall apart or get canceled. Yeah. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
We actually do have some plans for the fall, but even those are like, might happen, it might not happen. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it's definitely strange because I think Vicious Attack got a show that was rescheduled back in March, and it's been rescheduled to September. And I believe it's at the Sugar Skull. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
Franklin Park?
Yeah.
5-minute drive from the house.
Nice. I've never been, so I don't know what the situation is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like an outdoor patio deal or if it is going to be inside. I don't know what the situation is going to be. But, yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we're on for September 5th, so that might change entirely.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, prepare for the worst, I guess, if it gets canceled. That's all I can say, But obviously, with everything going on, you can't be surprised by that either. It's like, well, I guess it's just not happening.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you guys have any plans to do any like music videos or playthroughs or anything for your music?
We've talked about that actually. It was find the time to get it done.
We're working on a couple ideas for that. Obviously, once everything comes to fruition here, you'll find, everyone will find out about it.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, hell, like, I'm gonna go ahead and be a promotion whore. But if you're interested, you've seen my work. If you want a playthrough video or something like that, I'll help you out. But yeah, it's one of these things. Like I told the guys, and I know I keep bringing this to Vicious Attack, but it's only because we're kind of in a similar situation where we have this album and we don't really, we're going to release it obviously, but we just don't know where to go with it right now. But I told the guys we have to pretend that we might not play a show until next year, so obviously that's, you don't know what is actually going to happen. But as far as media, we're going to need videos, maybe like a lyric video, just photo shoots, just anything to just promote the album, go through all of these reviewers, maybe some YouTube dudes.
You got to kind of keep the name relevant during these times, along with the discussion that I brought up earlier about bands breaking up during this. Also, how many bands are going to lose traction during all of this because people are just going to forget about them because they're not doing anything, they're not promoting anything. And they're just sitting around. Like, you got to find a way just to keep something moving. You got to keep the wheels moving something.
Even if it's just writing new music,
Yep.
Definitely.
That's hard, trying to keep like an internet presence. Like I don't really spend as much time on the internet as I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of just weird.
It's become a vile place.
Even just in general, promoting the album right now, like it sucks sometimes because I feel like I'm annoying people, but you got to do it.
Oh yeah, it really does feel weird, but I remember with my other band, Central Disorder, when we came out with our new album, we pushed it for a solid year, just try to keep it in the lexicon for a year, and I think if you can do that, then you've definitely done your job, and I mean, that's all. I mean, people have the attention span of a goldfish these days. So, what can you do, really? Just keep pushing it in their face. How about you, John? What's been going on with Active Destruction?
Oh, I think we talked about it before. We're starting to work on new material for a new record, a new full length. Obviously, once there's something to say about it, we'll say it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, in the meantime, too, other ideas like we were just talking about, possible, photo, video content, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. How about what was I gonna say?
We were working on booking some shows, but all that got scrapped and thrown in the trash. So, not much we could do about that at the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. How about, all right, so I learned that you were in Beyond Deth when you came in for Riff City and Coffee Time.
Yeah.
When did that happen? Because I was very confused. I feel like I should have seen a Facebook post or something about that.
Oh, I don't know. How many years ago was that today?
The first time or the second time?
The first time.
The first time?
I mean, your first show was the Reggie show, I think 2015, right?
That sounds about right, yeah. The first show we played with Flesh God Apocalypse.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's an amazing first show.
That was fun, yeah.
Jesus no Christ.
It was a good crowd.
Jeez, I can imagine. All right, sweet. So, all right, like, I'm trying to figure out exactly the timeline here. You pretty much have guitar. I mean, you've recorded guitar on every song. Would you say that the album is like half and half, or did you guys just collaborate the whole way through? Was it, was
the new album? You mean?
Yeah, the new album.
pretty much what happened was, John sent me his compositions, which were, more or less an outline with his entire guitar part.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that and I listened to it, and I tried to add things that, I could hear in my head, that weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Not to steer it in a different direction per se, but, add to it if it's helpful, or, sit tight if it doesn't need it.
Okay, so like obviously a lot of harmonies and whatnot are
where
from
it
you.
makes sense to me. I don't want to go overboard with shit, but
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you
if
can't,
you want to start the song, make sure it's a good song. That's what we're making. Trying to make some songs that that are enjoyable.
well, I know I keep saying this, but it sounds really good, guys. You knocked it out of the park, like for real. It's one of these. It's one thing. I mean, I have a lot of bands on Coffee Time, and I'll listen to their stuff and whatnot. But there definitely is something to be said when I can keep replaying a group's music over and over again. And
definitely.
you guys.
And that was actually an argument, not an argument, but a discussion I had with the label. Is they thought the album was too short.
Too short.
The new one. They wanted us to add 1 or 2 more songs, but luckily I was able to sway them. Like, no, I think, short and sweet. I don't think it needs anything more. It's done. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still a full-length record, man.
Yeah, I mean, plus at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not saying that you didn't have other songs on the back burner or whatnot, but you want just the most polished product that you could throw your name on and just be proud of it and be happy. So it's actually, it's good. It's good that it worked out that way then.
And I still think a lot of that goes back to my younger days of being a huge punk rocker, I guess, and loving all that punk music. It was all like really short and sweet, and it never kind of overstayed its welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of still in a little way kind of incorporate that with the songwriting with this. Like, not the biggest fan of like 8, 10, 12-minute songs. I don't think I'll ever write anything that long. Mm-hmm. And I think short and sweet, even as a whole record, is something you can listen to. You can go back to it, listen to it again, and not get burned out by it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. When you guys had Age of Darkness, I listened to that album so many times, and it's good to see that you guys are releasing a product that is not only consistent with what Beyond Deth sounds like, but it's great. It's very good quality. So I'm gonna stop. Just I know this sounds like I'm kissing up to you guys, but
I'm just happy you like it, man. Like,
oh yeah, it seems like everybody's been. I mean, I haven't seen any negative response to it.
Well, are you a reviewer?
Huh?
Are you a critic?
Yeah, I'm peppering it that much that I would come off as that.
Yeah, that's the main focus of this band. As things just continue to go, we're going to do everything and try everything, and some people might not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we do slower tempo stuff or mixing more different genres in there, it's just whatever. I mean, it's not going to change what we're going to do or how people think of it.
Definitely. I was talking about Armored Assault. They have a style that is very unique. They take from a lot of different elements and just combine it. It's not just straight up thrash. Sometimes they have a song that has like a calliope kind of feel to it, and
yeah, kind of got those old System of a Down vibes going on with that. I like that though. I've always been a fan of those guys.
Yeah, definitely. And there's definitely no problem with also wearing your influences on your sleeve. But it's always good when you can still sound like how you sound, but also throw some curveballs in there. All right, guys. Well, it looks like our time remaining is about to end here. I guess I have to upgrade to Pro or something to get more time. I don't know if you could see that.
Really?
Yeah, it says we got about 3 minutes left. So,
oh wow,
how about we use this last 3 minutes? Just sell your album. Sell your album. just tell the audience about it. Where can you find it?
If you're looking for our album,
I mean, for sure.
find it through the label, Vargheist Records. You can find it through our own Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
If you like speed metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, melodic metal, there might be at least one song you might dig from all of our releases, maybe just one. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, we try to just keep it catchy. If you like catchy tunes and still being heavy, I mean, we try to offer that the best we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you like heavy metal, if you like rock and roll, if you like guitar, if you like drums, you check it out.
If you like,
it'd probably be a good idea to check it out.
Yeah, if you like all those things together, you might like it. What helps?
I mean, you've got a good chance.
Mm-hmm. What helps you guys out the most, Bandcamp, or do you want them to go straight to the label? The store.
I mean, whatever they want to do. I will mention too, since we're at limited time, in terms of digital downloads, Vargheist Records has been having a 50-cent sale.
Oh,
that's been going on for 2 weeks now. You can get every digital album of every band that's on their label for 50 cents.
Yeah, you can get their entire catalog.
Fantastic. And do you know how
long?
There's a lot
of bands you guys could find out about through that you might now also be aware of.
All right, cool. Well, you guys heard it here. I'm sure you're on all the streaming services as well, or maybe in the future.
Soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, within the month, we'll have the album up on Spotify.
Yeah, very awesome. Give it some time to simmer.
Yeah, I mean, Spotify us.
Well, if you want to check out Age of Darkness, that's up there right now, right?
Yeah, Age of Darkness is still there.
All right, fantastic, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming on here. I'm happy to help you promote this because this is this is truly a great album, and I cannot stress it enough. Go check it out, guys. Thank you. This was awesome.
Thank you, Mike, man.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Coffee time. Out.